What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Ken Ross Present the Yeah I Said a podcast. We're expressing with our full capabilities until they might want it to correctional facilities. Brainchild of my child. I am the dad half of this operation. Ross Cooper, and as always, I am rocking with the best. My co-host, please introduce yourself to the flow.
Yeah, what's good, everybody? Everybody's having a good day, month, year, hour, second, all that good stuff. If you're watching on, make sure the other platforms, please share with your friends, family, enemies, pets, your dogs, and on the wall, spider on the roof. I don't know. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Because if you don't, something gonna happen to me.
I'm gonna need you to do better, dog. We've been rocking, and I'm gonna need you to come up with some better ones. Like I was
I
waiting to
just
see if
said
you was
something
going.
gonna happen. If I say a specific thing, oh, why are you going too far? So I'm just gonna say something gonna happen. It could be good, it could
No,
be
no, no,
bad. That's
no, no.
up for
Because see,
you.
if you say, see, now if you don't and something good happens, that's gonna encourage people to not. So
That means
I
no,
thought
but that
you.
means you're gonna keep coming back because something good gonna happen.
That's it. If you,
Yeah,
but you said if you don't subscribe,
right.
nothing good happens if you don't subscribe.
Like, comment, and oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
See,
Well, nothing good is
I
gonna
thought
happen.
you.
There you go. We corrected that. There you go. Something bad gonna happen.
Uh,
Let's see. There you go. Should let me
see, I
rock
thought you
what
was
I was doing
good.
originally, because then they would have got. But nope, you just wanted everything. I went too far. Okay.
There's a way you did it for years without going too far, sir. You just got more black and morbid. Like, what's going on here? Like, I thought you was gonna take the easy way because we've been talking about orcas. You know,
I
we was
forgot all
gonna
about the
go.
workers. All right, there. You know what? There we go. Good point. If you don't, you're gonna see an Oregon in the ocean, and you don't want to see them black air forces of
You
that freaking
you
water,
really
man.
you really don't, yo. I didn't realize orcas was that gangster and grimy. Like yeah. Basically, for those listening and watching, I found this video online, and this cat was breaking down like how ill orcas can be. Like they straight up sun great whites. I'm like, what? Nothing can sun a great white. I stand corrected. Great whites don't want no smoke with orcas, like none.
No,
Like they just flip them over and eat their guts out for fun.
like I said, they
Like,
do that. They said if they see an orca on their hunting ground, they will stay away for like months and not come
like you
back.
know what? I'm good. You got it.
Yo,
Like you,
that's if that
you
ain't
got it, fam.
some Omar type shit. Omar coming.
Yeah, right. That's D. Oh, Debo. Let me tuck my chain in.
Yeah, they took they tell and swam away for real. Like, oh,
Like, nah, we don't want no problems. We don't want
none.
no problems. And it's a great white, yo. It's an apex predator to see.
Nope. They're the second. The apex is the orca. And they're
Like
smart.
they,
That's what makes it even worse. Like they will outsmart you, out thug you, out whatever.
yeah. I'm like, yo, I didn't realize like the video dude talked about how a seal will be chilling on an iceberg. Like, yo, I'm on the iceberg. Like, I'm on the ice. You can't get me. I'm just gonna sit here. I wait it out. I got plenty of fat to last me all winter, fam. I'm gonna wait this out.
Okay.
And it will flat out smack a wave on the ice to smack the seal into the water. Like, oh, like what?
You know you look right. You know you. It's
Like, come on, like that's so unfair, fam. Like, come on, if I'm in the water, I'm fair game. I'm sitting here on a floating piece of ice. Like, leave me be. How you
you
even know I'm up here?
you fair game anyway. This is my house.
Like, damn, yo, you can't even unless you on land. That's your only
You're
safety
not
net.
even safe then.
But they can't
Oh,
come get you on land.
oh, that's they get. If you close to the shore, oh, they will hop their little big asses up there and snatch you and hop right back. He said in the video. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. And I
I'm
apologize. Like, I'd love to refer you on to the video, but I can't. But yeah, I'm like, oh, I didn't know orcas was that foul. Like, this ain't Free Willy. This, yeah, this ain't Free Willy. Like, no.
keep
But
Willie locked up. That's what he did. Nah, I'm playing. Free Willie still.
leave him alone. Like, I
I
get it now. Now it gives a whole different take on when you heard about that orca the killer whale that like killed his handler or whatever, like that might not have been accidental. That might have just been like, you know what? Today's the day.
That wasn't accidental. I'm fed up. Screw this. I'm taking somebody with me because I know what's gonna happen after I do it.
Like today's the day. I'm tired. I don't want to be jumping these little hoops no more. I don't want kids petting me. Today's the day. But glad we start off light because it's about to get real heavy, real dark, real quick. So I want to start off with something that definitely needs some light to it. Um, it's slowly getting some national traction. Again, if we're going to talk about the power of the media, by default, we are members of the quote unquote media. And there are we have the ability to, use our platform to shine light on things. And I think it's important that you all out there know the name of Rasheem Carter. If you don't know the name, well, I'm going to save you trouble looking up. Rasheem Carter was in Mississippi. And this is, we're talking last October. Stop me if you've heard this before. But Rasheem was pursued by his own admission, some white men who allegedly yelled racial slurs at him, so on and so forth. I'm taking this off of Mirror, and there's another article from theroot.com, but you can pretty much find this anywhere now. And initially, in it's October, parts of him were found recently. We say parts of him because what we see here is that his head was cut off. His spinal cord was found separate from his head. An independent autopsy by the family states that his teeth may be missing. And also his decomposed private parts were found in his mouth. Now, this is in Mississippi. For those of you who don't know, Mississippi has a real interesting relationship when it comes to Black people and race. He actually went into, here's where it gets real fun, went to the police to state that he felt uncomfortable, to say the least, that he was being followed and harassed by white men in pickup trucks. And again, if you understand the imagery of white men in pickup trucks in this country, it is a short fence away from white men in hoods and burning crosses, at least in the South.
Same
The
thing.
police, well, if I see, I mean, joke not joke. If I see a bunch of white guys in a pickup in Brooklyn, I'm not really as nervous as if I saw them in Birmingham. It is what it is. Like you see some white guys in an F-150 in Brooklyn, I don't think it's gonna be some white guys in a truck. You see white guys in a pickup truck in Birmingham, Alabama, or certain other place in the South, and you happen to have a lot of melanin, that raises an eyebrow. But what makes this story interesting is how he was on the phone with his mom and went to the police station to say how he was being harassed by white men in pickup trucks. Law enforcement told him that because he needed to ride to the next town over, law enforcement told him two things. One, we cannot give you a ride because that is out of our jurisdiction. And two, he could not stay there. This is troubling. So if I walk into a police station and say, hey, I'm in fear for my life, these guys are menacing, harassing me. Is there any way I can get a ride to the next town over? You're law enforcement. And I've just told you there could be a credible threat to my life. Initially, the county said there's no suspicion of foul play, that his body was found in the state that it was because of animals. So the thought that they're floating initially is he was having mental issues, allegedly wandered into the woods and died. And died. And when he died,
good so question. He's walking the woods, died, and then the animals got him.
Yes, that's exactly what we're being fed. That's exactly what it
I guess we should stay out of the woods. Well, we should do that anyway. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I just go into the woods and die.
If you have mental issues, you of course are disoriented and can't tell which way is up, so you wander into the woods all by yourself. And upon dying, of course, the animals and woodland creatures are going to get you. Um,
After I said Google guys follow me and threaten my life, calling me this, that,
yeah,
and third.
right.
But I just go in the woods by myself and end up dead. All right, cool.
Now the problem is this happened in October, and the fact that the body was in the state that it was, courtesy of animals, is not completely false.
No, the animal thing, because the way I read it, they try to describe like the animal was the reason why he died. I mean, it was an
Mm.
animal. It just wasn't the type of animal you're thinking about. So
Ooh.
it was animals that did shit, but not the regular furry creatures or grizzly bear and all that shit. It's the human animals. And yeah, because I don't think animals want to take your piece and then put it in your mouth and then take out all your teeth. That sounds very human like that you're trying to hide something. That's what you do when you try
But
not to
see,
identify a body. You take out the teeth, take out as much DNA as possible. And it look like you try to send a message after you mutilated them and killed them. So it's like, yeah.
and I gotta be. I have to look at this as objectively as I possibly can. The reality of the situation is, I don't know if there's an animal that will remove the teeth from a skull. I don't know if there's an animal that would
No,
intentionally separate a head from a head and spinal column from a body, and then further separate the spinal column from the skull.
it's not.
It has not yet exactly been confirmed, based on what I've read, that there's been genital mutilation. But the independent examiner um, said that there appeared to be a decomposing genitalia in said mouth. Now,
I don't play
again,
like
we have
that.
to we have to go down the dark road of this country's past that they are trying so desperately to erase. That was a particular punishment for black men in the South. Um, all of this screams lynching. We have to get caught up in the legalese of it because it has to be proven, but all of this screams lynching. And then it screams collusion because when you go to the law, Because remember, whenever we say we don't need police, right? What's the comeback? It's, well, I hope nothing happened. We need the police. Cool. Something happened that this young man needed the police. What did they do? So, well, if you are there to protect and serve, who did you protect and serve
You're not there
here?
to protect or serve. You're there to react. But that's the
I
law.
mean, you had a chance. You had someone literally walk in and say, "I'm in fear for my life
No,
from these people,"
no.
and you did nothing.
You might be annoyed. You might not care. Like I
Well, see, that's
said,
where that's where this turns very interestingly, because my initial thought after hearing all of this, why would you, as law enforcement officers, ignore such a thing? I got a couple reasons, none of them good.
oh, we know the reasons. We ain't got sugarcoat shit. We know the reasons. Everybody should know the
E-
reasons.
e- either
But
either this is racial, or the people that were in on it, or both.
probably both. Either way, um, yeah. Like I said, people seem to forget. I know everyone back the boys in blue. We seem to forget the human element of the people behind the blue. And if they do have a certain viewpoint or bias or races or whatever, it won't matter. Because like I said, if the police fuck up and you feel for your life and it's one of them, who do you call? I still don't know a number you call if a police is fucking with you. You can't necessarily
Truthfully,
fight back because then they're going to say resistant or you assaulted an officer. You have a better chance assaulting a woman than an officer. That might seem is better. And that's sad. This is
I mean,
crazy.
I'm just in October to now. This has shades of Ahmaud Arbery,
It's
where this
worse.
happened at certain time. Law enforcement, the people in charge of law enforcement knew what happened, but nothing happened.
This was worse. Because like I said, he went to warn before it happened, did nothing. It happened. You tried your best to cover it up again and just play as like, oh, just an animal thing. And try to pull the mental issues card to make it say, oh, he was just crazy. So that's how he died. And then the animal is the reason why his body's so mutilated. Until you look into the details of what happened before and after. And how you're trying to spin the shit to make it seem this is all on him. And it's just like, oh, no foul play happened. This is annoying and an unfortunate situation. Now, why the hell would y'all say that? If you did
And
your fucking
initially,
job, this wouldn't happen.
initially it was no foul play. No, no sign, no suspicion of foul play. Ben Crump shows up. National attention gets shined on it. Now they backtrack and say, well, foul play is not off the table. Well, wait a minute. You just said you didn't suspect any foul play. But when mofos decide to shine a light on what appears to be a steaming pile of bullshit, oh, well, now foul play is not off the table. You think?
Because now everyone is looking, and now you might have the FBI and whoever else looking into it. So now it's like, ah, shit, I can't say that. So I gotta open the door. Like, okay, maybe it was we just overlooked something, even though you mean you ignored and protected someone or something.
So,
Hey,
so basically, now you got to get your shit straight
yeah,
because
it's
you
too
thought this
late
was just
now.
gonna go. You just thought this was gonna go away. So I'm willing to bet it's a whole
Almost
bunch of
did.
backdoor meetings, a whole bunch of backdoor meetings, a whole bunch of in-face conversations. You can't text nothing because the second the Department of Justice gets involved, it's a federal case.
That's,
Um,
oh yeah, it's definitely gonna if they find out who did it, it's definitely gonna be a hate crime, and boy is the hammer gonna come.
yeah, and it's like I don't know how you do it because of the condition the remains are in, but unlike certain instances, this wasn't done with the thought process of, you know what, I think I can get away with it. I challenge you a little bit because you said it was done to send a message. I beg to differ. This was done, and it was done in a manner where we thought he'd just be a missing person and never heard from again. Because from a criminal standpoint, this is the perfect alibi. You're going to have a really tough time as a pathologist. And again, I'm not a pathologist, but I'm just thinking here. You're going to have a really tough time differentiating, quite possibly, between what was, say, blunt force trauma and what was caused by the animals.
That's
Like the
what I
only thing
said.
worse.
That's the point. This was not done. This was done to send a message, and you did it in the intent to get away with it. You plucked all son's teeth. You disembarred him. So I don't know if you had a play of the animals taking a piece out of him or not, or you just knew.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know?
I think absolutely.
So this was perfect. This was probably well planned, and
Well,
you would have got away with it if it wasn't for social media.
well, as I said,
You
sending the
still might get
message.
away with it. That's that. And like you just said, you still might. It's hard to prove what is what. In this, considering the state that he's in, and y'all mutilate him so much, and then you had help with the animals to backtrack or cover anything else. It's perfect.
Well, I was gonna say sending a message is what used to happen. That's what public lynchings were
But
to
you can't do that.
keep you inwards in line, so you can see if you step out of line, this is what will happen to you. This is different because,
Nah,
like I said, it's different because you couldn't. This wasn't done, but like I said, I believe this was done under the auspices of, okay, we're gonna make this cat disappear. You can't send a message when there's nothing left of, you know,
we know
like.
we know it's his body. You clearly
Well, see,
took
that's the
it.
thing.
You took his
Yeah,
private parts and you shoved it in his mouth. That's clearly sending.
possibly.
That's clearly sending a message.
Well, that's possibly something that could have happened before they actually, before he was unalive.
That's my point. You send
Oh,
the
you mean
message
send a message to him? I'm thinking talking about anyone else.
to
Like,
him and everyone else, whoever finds it.
but that's the thing. I don't think it was ever intended to be found.
Yeah,
Like that's from
but I'm
yeah. I don't think
sure,
that's ever intended to be
but
found.
it probably wasn't. But if it was, like I said, they thought it through. You took the teeth out. I don't know if his fingerprints are still there or wherever his hands are, if they're even there.
Well,
Um,
like I said, some of this is alleged, so I want to be clear. Like some of this is not been confirmed, but it's ugly.
Either
And if I had to bet money on which, the animals with four legs or the other animals, yeah, I'm gonna put a little. I don't. I'm not gonna blame the woodland creatures on this one.
I said, what animals live there? Like, is there grizzlies or something there that I don't know of? I know grizzlies will mutilate people.
Well, with any, you gotta understand, it's a, and with all due respect, now you're talking about fresh meat. It's a carcass, so whatever's there, coyotes, it's the woods, so whatever's in the woods. That's like this doesn't seem unintentional at all. And to say someone wandered into the woods and just fell over and died, that's what you feeding this dog.
No
You,
one just
you,
falls
you
over and dies unless you say you just had a heart attack. So you gotta be more specific.
right. That's what you feeding this. That's what you feeding the family of this young man.
Because, like I said, the damning part is why that's bullshit is because he came to you about the situations. He asked for an escort or to at least stay. You said no. So you set him up to die. If not, play like I said, the cards are now off the table that you might have played a part. You might have been there.
But
So
you couldn't give this young man a ride because it's out of your jurisdiction. When is not being in your jurisdiction ever stopped an officer from pulling you over or
exactly,
giving you like it?
it never stops. Jurisdiction don't mean shit. Yeah, I think y'all Batman for real. Yeah, I have no jurisdiction. Like for like, get out of here.
So I really hope the entire truth comes out because I believe what we're being told is a steaming pile of bullshit.
Well, yeah, if you change your
It,
story,
this is
yeah.
a This is a tragedy that has attempted to be intentionally covered up. Like I said, this has shades of Mount Aubrey, but as you stated, this is much much worse. Because this was preventable. Ahmad, unfortunately, we're talking about the young man in Georgia who was pretty much hunted down and killed. There was no warning. We literally have this young man going to law enforcement and saying, in so many words, I'm afraid for my life. And you have law enforcement saying, well, too bad, so sad, son. And nope, we can't give you a ride because, you out of our jurisdiction. Had he smacked somebody a town over, somehow I think they would find a jurisdiction. Just saying. So I hope the truth comes out and I hope air quotes justice comes right behind it.
And when the justice that we want will not happen. So yes, I hope
Well,
America's form of justice happens.
my problem is I don't want just the perpetrators held responsible. I want to see law enforcement held responsible as well because this is preventable.
That's not
This
gonna
is
happen.
preventable.
Not gonna happen.
We'll see. We will absolutely see. But this was preventable. This was something that could have been prevented. Talk about things that people don't want prevented. Wyoming has actually passed what is essentially an abortion ban. You cannot sell anything that will induce an abortion at all. Oh boy. Republican governor guy. Well, let me break it down. White male Republican governor, as if anybody couldn't have figured that one out right off top. But I just want to be clear. And this falls in line with a lot of very interesting other bills and that have been passed throughout the South. And I'm like, yeah, I know Wyoming isn't technically the South, but there just seems to be a stink about a lot of things about women's rights, women's reproductive rights, about the LGBTQ community and their very existence. About race. Like I haven't even had a chance to read the entire damn headline, but the entire story. But I don't know if you caught that headline over the weekend. They're trying to not mention the race of Rosa Parks, and yeah, I'll get the full story. It's just certain things you read. It's one of two things. It's one of two things or both. It's either this is just the stupidest shit I've ever seen, or yep, that's Florida, or both. There's just certain things you come
Both.
across like
It's both.
you see it. It's like this has got to be Florida. I know without even reading it. This is somewhere in Florida.
It's
If you see somebody who wrestled a 10-foot gator over their Chihuahua, willing to bet you Florida.
definitely.
That's Florida, right? But I do want to give credit where credit is due. Tweet you sent me was from Shaheem, aka Dr. Durag, and the actual piece is from Emily Olson 06, EMILYOLSON 06 on TikTok. I know a lot of people cannot stand TikTok, especially people my age.
I can't either. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, because see, my thing is this. Never mind the dances and the goof shit. I've never been down with that. But I've told you before, I love woke TikTok. For lack of a better term, I love woke TikTok
It depends.
because you get things like this. This is what you get from woke TikTok, which is informative and like, oh shit, I didn't know.
Sometimes a lot
Well,
of
I mean,
false information. But yes, I get.
oh, then what is it? If you don't,
It sounds good because sometimes it is cap. But yeah, I hear you. Woke. Oh, they try to end wokeness too. So yeah, have fun with that. Enjoy that while you last.
yeah. But she just mentioned like West Virginia didn't pass a law to ban child marriage. Why would you? Wait,
And they
like
do that in other
what?
countries, so I guess it wouldn't be too
I
hard.
mean, it's and see, West. Listen, I'm going to skip every West Virginia joke that you can think of right now. If you are in the U.S., you know where I'm going. I'm going to skip that and just be like, listen, all bullshit is, you know, Jim Crow laws. I do believe that's back in Alabama or Mississippi. Shit, that's all the same at this point.
It is
But
self.
it's not me being a lack of research. It's just as a black man from the free north looking at this like Alabama, Mississippi. I've said this before, semi jokingly. Now I'm starting to wonder. Take everything from mid Virginia to Arizona and let that shit be its own country, please.
That's
Because
what they want.
y'all,
The Confederacy, they
y'all,
want that back. They want it back.
fam,
They doing everything they power to get that shit back, boy.
make sure women can have abortions. Miss me with this. Miss me with this Christian bullshit. Miss me with this religious shit. This ain't about religion, dog. Something else is up. You don't go this hard to control women's reproductive rights. You don't go this hard to pretty much erase the LGBTQ community from existence passively. You're doing everything short of the final solution, and everyone knows I mean I say the final solution. You're doing everything short of that, right? And you also don't go this hard
That's what they're gearing up
to
for.
erase race from the history. I did have a thing about that though. Remember something you and I have always theorized about? I said if certain white folks are so upset about everything being racial, black everything being racial, I said we'll just even the playing field. Give us our reparations, call it a day, and then you can't complain. I really can't at that point because the wrong that has been committed hasn't made up for. You know a way to do that without actually having to pay a dime? You erase race from history. So like, why would you erase Rosa Parks' race? Like it doesn't. Then it hit me because if you erase the past, there is nothing to make up for, is there?
No, and then there's also nothing to stop them from repeating the past because no one would know.
Well, we ain't gonna. I mean, we know that
Yeah,
ain't going.
we
That
still
that
know, we know what race Rosa Parks is. We know race is still a huge problem in the world, not even just the country. What?
I'm just saying, I promise you this: you ain't never gonna see chattel slavery in this here country again. You ain't never gonna see black folk on auction blocks and in chains. That ain't never. You could
You are in the
pretend.
NFL, but I'm playing. Nah. That's it. They're gearing up for something. This is looking real Hitler-ness. You know
I don't
how
know,
he
man.
started, and you know how genocide starts. Like I said, I was mentioned to by someone I know, like the steps to genocide, and we're on like 10 steps. We're on like step 7 right now
But
for
but
genocide.
see,
So
the reason.
yeah, some they gearing up for something. You're going real hard, and it's under the Mason-Dixon line.
Mhm.
Everyone else is like, what? And y'all just like tag teaming and having a competitive on who's the final boss of the South. I think Florida might win.
They're definitely trying, and it's like when you start really looking at things, what does scare me, and Trump has tried it, and what every dictator, Hitler, and everyone else has done. If you ever, just so you know, not pulling this on my behind, anyone with Netflix, watch the documentary How to Be a Tyrant, and one of the key components is propaganda. You
It's
feed the
better than that.
people you pretty much feed the people bullshit that they're afraid of and that they want to hear, and they get behind you. All of this like concerted effort to get rid of drag shows and drag queens and trans this and trans that. Like, fam, do we really want to dig into what demographic is responsible for most essay against children? Do we really want to do that? I'll let you in a little secret. It ain't the trans community. It ain't the LGBTQ community. In fact, do we want to ask the Catholic Church what the demographic is of most who commits the most essay against children? But you focusing all this attention on, don't say gay and you know, drag shows and what are you really? It's like because when you know the facts, like okay, what are you really up to? What are you really trying to get to, or what are you trying to distract me from? Because this don't make logical sense. So I'm like, what's really going on? And I don't have an answer. I get the racial part. You're trying to get out of paying reparations. But this other issue is deeper
I
than
don't even
that.
know if
Like,
it's
what do
that.
you?
I don't think. Well, that's a good theory. It could be part of it, but that's it. I
I
think they're
mean,
really
if
like I think the answer is right in front of us. We just fail and just won't admit. They just want to go back to how it was. The whole "Make America Great Again." That's literally we want to live in the past. They want a pure white fucking country again. They want to be dominant, like they're already still somewhat dominant, but dominant with pride again. This is what they want to go back in the past. That shit sucked for everyone except for one group. That's
white men,
literally what they're
straight,
doing.
about to say straight white men.
Great white men. They're literally and then to prove what I'm saying, what do white racist people be saying now? It's a straight white. It's a straight genocide or whatever. They're trying to get rid of
No
all straight
one,
males.
right? No one wants to hear anything from straight white
No
men.
one wants to hear anything from straight white males anymore. Like y'all not still on top
Well, we don't.
because you're doing shit like this. No, of course we don't want to
I'm,
hear about
I'm
you.
so sorry, but well, we
So
don't.
yeah, they gotta boost. They want to go back in the past where they can be their natural, hateful, fucking weird selves and
Cause I'm
silence
like, when you
everything that has nothing to do with whatever their core beliefs are. And that's
right
what the
when you,
South is doing. They're literally
right,
gearing up to strip everything from people
I'm
who
just,
are not in that bubble.
I don't know, man. I just when you
Not go back
start
to the
looking
past.
at these, you start looking at these child pornography stings. Who comes up? Also, who doesn't? I ain't seen one of these stings yet where I see 26 mug shots of drag queens. Not one. You know how I do see though? You guessed it. So I'm just what are you really I want to say so you really think that people are that stupid. But
Yeah.
it folks went to Trump rallies, so
I mean, they literally committed freaking
Oh wow, I forgot about January 6th, dog. I totally
Like I said, y'all was really willing to die for that fool and committed
wow.
real treason for real off the
And
strength.
Quiet is kept. He tried to do it again. I don't know if you caught that over the weekend. I ain't paying no mind. I'm just waiting to see what happens. But he did it again. He was like, "They're coming to arrest me on Tuesday. Don't let them."
I seen that.
Don't.
I seen they come to arrest me. I didn't see him say don't. Oh, okay.
Oh, right. He trying to spark it off again. Like
Let's see.
if y'all in these streets tomorrow morning, because today's Monday, if y'all in these streets tomorrow morning talking about don't rush Trump, I, what have I always said? I said I grew up in an era where white excellence and intelligence should never be questioned. Oh, we got questions now. We get. I mean, the fact that y'all want this 80-year-old white dude to be president is just mind-boggling in and of itself. But what else? But yeah, I don't know what's coming down the pipe, and it just feels sinister. Like you start keeping count, it
Now it
feels
feels in.
really sinister.
Now it feels in. Really.
Well, like I said, if think about it like this: if you see one hornet, it's like, oh shit, that's a hornet. I'm gonna be over here though, because one hornet ain't no problem. But then you look around, you see another hornet, another hornet, and it's like, oh shit, it's a swarm, and I didn't even realize it. What are y'all coming to sting? And that's what it's starting to seem like. You see one hornet, and now we're seeing a lot more. It's like collectively, what are y'all up to? Because one hornet ain't no threat. It's gonna hurt, but it's a hornet. It's gonna hurt like hell, but it's one sting.
Right in front of you. I already said they want to go back in the past, and they're taking
I'm
the
not
necessary steps to do it.
I'm not disputing that part, but I think that's too easy to reach. You could very well be right, but you don't do all this just because you want because the South shall rise again. Like, nah,
Yes,
this
you
is
do.
deeper than
That's the
that, fam.
point. You and also we ever talk about they're trying to get certain like Twitter and TikTok banned because it's not a American made company, so they can't
I mean,
necessarily control what is said on there and our
but
privacy and
that's.
with what
I'm sorry. but even that at least has some logic to it because TikTok is a Chinese company. It could be spyware. It could be like I gotta go down the rabbit hole for a
but
hot second.
they also can't stop quote unquote the free speech and then like I said, what do we just see this exposing all these damn laws on TikTok? It was an American made or government made company. You think that'd get out? No.
Good question.
So
We don't
like
know
it'll
how. We
be
don't know just
it'll
how
be
embed Zuckerberg. We don't know just how embed Zuckerberg is with the government anymore. But
probably is. Either way, like I said, media suppression is a real thing. We've been a part of
mhm.
that, especially for during COVID. Um, so if I get rid of two apps that I have no absolute none control over, and now I have all apps that I can control and filter feed to the people and to either push the agenda or silence those that go against it, it makes it easier to take over. Because
I
now you're
mean,
being fed bullshit information or you don't know the real truth. Like I said, that's the one good thing about social media is that whatever bullshit they're feeding, like the example we had with the pigs earlier, someone can leak the truth and then it will spread like
uh,
wildfire and they can't really stop it.
yeah. I mean, I've
Mhm.
said what you sent me was to me just another example. I don't buy into the propaganda of social media is BS. No. If social media is BS to you, that is a direct result of who and what you follow. The algorithm is going to throw things at you, of course. Like if you Google, I need a watch, the next 26 things you're going to see is going to be watch ads, right? I got it. If you decide to click on the big booty chick or the dude with the abs, guess what? That's what you're going to see. But the people you follow, the content they put out, the algorithm is easily tricked. And if everything looks like bullshit, then that's probably a reflection of who you follow. But overall, I firmly believe social media does way more good than harm. I always go back to what happened where you are. When you go back to the Freddie Gray riots and they were all trying to say, they setting fires, they setting fires. This is what the media was saying. And people on social media was like, nah, they out here setting fires, trying to blame it on the people. You go on what happened when the name escapes me in Ferguson. Same thing with Talib Kweli and everybody else was out there with social media. Like, no, this is what's really going on. They're not telling y'all the truth. So it's like,
Double-edged sword.
yeah.
There is a lot of bullshit, a lot of stupid shit, and a lot of narratives that can be false. That we might not know
Mhm.
is false, but we take it because so many people agree with it. But it's a double-edged sword. It is
Yeah.
what you make of it. Some good things like now, it keeps the media somewhat honest. But I mean, but that's why they're trying to get rid of it. So we don't
Yeah,
have
because
that
right,
side of the
because they
story.
want to.
Yeah.
Because once upon a time, and it was, and I see it in my mom and other older folks. They still swear by the news. They still swear by the whoever the news Tom Brokaw, Brian Gumbel, and other folks. They still swear by the 6 o'clock news. And I look at that for 10 minutes, and I'm like, this is all bullshit. Like all of it is bullshit.
So we're trying to go
But
back.
okay.
That's my point. We're trying to go back. They're trying to go back in time, make it easier.
Mm-hmm.
But
All right,
we'll
but
figure it out.
moving. Speaking of bullshit and cap, your man's in North Korea, Kim Jong Un, ill, and I apologize. I really don't pay that close attention to you until something like this pops off. Apparently, he was popping off saying he had 800,000 volunteers,
Volunteers.
volunteers that signed up to fight the imperialists of America. I don't know which is funnier. There's so many parts of that are just hilarious. Like the fact that you use the word volunteer. Who volunteers for anything in North
It
Korea?
was in
Like,
quotations too. That was the funny part.
right. Volunteers to fight.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Sam, I don't say this with any pride of America at all. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of like facts. Saying last time y'all tried to launch a missile, that shit kind of fell out the sky, didn't it? Like I can't take you seriously. So much you got 800,000. Wait, do you have weapons that work? Like I'm not poking the bear. I'm just asking legit questions.
You're poking the bear.
Like,
But I mean, I have seen that they do have their capabilities are a lot better now. And then especially if they
oh,
have help from, Russia or China. And there you go.
so y'all can y'all can hit something other than South Korea now? Like, is that it? It's like you can smack somebody that's further away from you than next door? Is that it?
They have a nuclear jets of what I just seen that they were testing or flying over South Korea. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's just
Mm-hmm.
funny because the volunteer. That's the funny thing. Not the numbers. Not that you want smoke with America. You've been wanting smoke from America since I don't know a decade or so, and nothing's happened. And we're sitting
Jay
right at your
Z.
backyard, just looking at you like I dare you. Like I mean,
This
okay.
is where the great philosopher Jay Z comes in handy. We don't believe you. You need more people.
Like I said, now the problem is I'm more concerned that we might not be taking them so serious that they could do some shit. Because now we don't want to get into art of war terms. Underestimate somebody just because that's bad. And also, they do have allies that are two superpowers that we might be going to war with anyway.
Here's the thing with North Korea. The biggest problem I see,
They have two big brothers that can do
it's not
damage.
even that. The biggest problem I see is, look, if I had to bet money on do they have something that could intercontinental ballistic missile or some shit like that can hit here? No. The bigger problem is you're next door to South Korea, who we cool with. So that's I think is the bigger issue. Like it ain't can you launch something from there to hit over here? Is we got peeps. It's peoples that America's cool with right next door. You can't
Right.
hit there.
But
Like,
America is also distracted because we're paying attention to China and Taiwan, and then we're also paying attention to Ukraine and Russia, who are also the two big brothers that I just said of North Korea. So
well,
if shit were to pop off, they have the backup to do so.
I
As
don't
we
know. You know
said,
what I
we can't
mean?
do shit to China just because of the fact that we own you. We can't do shit to Russia because we go to Russia, it might be over for everybody. So
Yeah,
now
but Russia.
it's just like okay, we're on the Cold
Yeah,
War part two, like extreme, but except this might actually pop off because China is looking to invade Taiwan, and that is also one of our children, metaphorically, and Russia is trying to dominate, Ukraine and take over
yeah,
it.
but Russia's soft though. Russia's some punks. They couldn't even knock out Ukraine. You know what I mean?
They
Russia's
had
some
help.
suckers.
Ukraine had help, and then
Like
that's a great
$45 billion
segue.
worth of help.
A lot of help from NATO and us. Just
45 billion. Like, you know what I mean?
like
Like
I could buy the
45
most
billion.
expensive tanks and missiles of all money can buy.
Right, son. Right, son. But I'm saying though, Russia's some suckers. They can't even sun Ukraine. They're getting sunned by Ukraine right now.
I mean, I haven't checked the score, but last time I checked, they took over most of their cities, but I might be wrong. And
Nipsey
then
voice.
it's
Last
so
time I
they
checked.
such suckers that like I said, the next topic they're trying to get Putin on war crimes. Y'all trying to get him out of there. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. But now that you just segued through that alley, you know what I mean? The ICC. This is from a good focus CNN. The International Criminal Court. Oh, this is high level comedy, and I'm shocked that he didn't do the obvious clapback. But the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin and Russian official Maria Lvova-Belova.
say that twice.
I'm just going to withhold snickering for an alleged scheme to deport Ukrainian children to Russia. What? Wait, what? You still in the kids, dog? There are reasonable grounds to believe, in quotes, that Mr. Putin bears individual criminal responsibility for alleged crimes, for having committed them directly alongside others, and for his failure to exercise control properly over civilian and military subordinates who committed the acts. Wait, what? Moscow's an unprovoked attack. The Kremlin has labeled the ICC's action as outrageous and unacceptable, of course. But I, I, so who gonna go in there and arrest him though? I'm just this is cute. This is cute. No, I'm just who gonna go in there and arrest him? Like I'm okay. Cool.
But like
That's
I
like
said,
that's like an arrest warrant against the head of the Mexican cartel. Who gonna go do it?
I mean, we're not gonna do that because that's business. But other than that, I said,
Oh.
well, arrest my business partner. What we doing, yo? That's probably why they said, yo, my bad, yo. We'll fuck up these motherfuckers. We didn't mean to murder them, man. That was an accident, bro. I hope we still can, we got me too. Will come on. All right, either way. But nah. They said in the article they can't do it unless he leaves Russia. And why would he leave Russia? Like
Right.
that's just
Like
that would be dumb. He would be assassinated like that. So
Like if you come
nah.
out the house, we got you. Okay,
Okay.
good to
I have
know.
a big freaking country of house. I don't have to go
Right,
nowhere.
like oh, word. Okay,
Okay.
guess I'll
I'm
cancel my trip to the Bahamas. Like,
so yeah, that's why I was like, okay, y'all trolling at this point, bro. Like, come on.
right, yeah.
We have an arrest warrant for you. Oh, okay. Well, come in. Come get me.
Right, come through.
Come through. Doors open. Or have a
Pull up,
jigsaw fucking
yo.
mansion. You just taking people
Right,
property.
pull up. You come to the Kremlin like next week. I'm free.
Huh?
Yeah, y'all come to the Kremlin. It's cool. We can have lunch to talk about it. End up in
Blasted.
some Siberian gulag, like okay, but yeah, there is an arrest warrant. There's open warrant for Putin's arrest, just so we're all clear. I just okay,
The
but
balls.
and now bringing it back here, this was an interesting one. I sent this to you, and this is how we'll close it out because this I think warrants debate. It's interesting to me for a lot of reasons, but this is from CNBC. Heading, first black woman CEO in the Fortune 500 on work-life balance. You don't have to go to all your kids' games. This is from Ursula Burns, Chairman CEO of Xerox. Um, it was interesting. She became the first black female CEO in '09, and she never bought into the work-life balance. And in her quote, she says, I would not be able to be CEO of the company unless I outsourced the caring for my kids. I was not a believer that you had to go to all your kids' games. I just don't understand what that's all about. Ah,
Great
wow.
mom. Great mom.
You said I wasn't a helicopter mom. We did what we had to do. She was the CEO from '09 to 2016 when the company split into Xerox and Conduit. She remained Xerox's chairman until 2017. So, um, her partner, he retired early to become a stay-at-home dad. Burns' sister also lived nearby. So it's like,
It's funny
I
she used the
don't know.
word outsource. Like they
That sounded
like
really
like
just
that just
corporate.
sounded real distant. Like, yeah, you kind of tie me down. I'll outsource you to over there. Like
Right,
anytime
like
we're outsourcing the business where it's like, yeah, it's not my problem. Go over there.
right, like did you schedule hugs with the nanny? Like, hey, it's 2:30.
That's what it sounds like.
Clarissa, could you go hug her, please? Like, what?
That's what it just sounded like from the outside looking at it, you did not need kids.
I mean, and it's just fundamentally I'm not this see the funny thing is this isn't a right or wrong. This is do what works for you. But I'd appreciate from a social standpoint, could we all please collectively as parents try not to do things to turn our kids into psychopaths or emotionally off? Like to hear you outsource pretty much parenting. Now, again, entertainers do it all the time. They have live in. There are people who have live in nannies and everything else. Is that the same? Is that out? Do you think that's the same?
No, it's not the
If
same.
you,
It's not
you
you.
know, if uh,
Like you said, nah, go ahead.
I'm just like I'm trying to think of situations and like entertainers and athletes don't count because they have enough capital to where like J and B, for instance, don't have to outsource being parents of Blue Ivy and twins. They can literally be there, right? Business is a place where it's like the thing that you're doing may not be self-sustaining, so you have to keep doing it. So like you have to go to the office, you have to go make these deals. You see what I'm saying? Where athletes and entertainers is different. I make an album that sells 10 million. I really get to sit and chill. I got a tour, but I get to sit and chill. And more important than that, my partner can be there, right? But like is having a live-in nanny outsourcing the labor, or I just
Well, it seemed like they just switched roles because they said it wasn't the man that was the breadwinner. She stays at home, take care of the kids. It was her, and the man stays home with the sister or the aunt and for them and whoever else. I'll pay for all that, and you make sure they straight. And I'll chime in whenever I can, but I'm more focused on this, on bringing home the bacon, as we
it,
said. And like I said,
and
that's
like
all.
so
It sounds switched. And even with the original dynamic, it's like that's weird. Like I said, it just the way she worded it almost seems. I'm not gonna say like she don't care, but it just seems like it's just more of like you're a burden, and I have to focus on this and
it's
outsource basically. Like because like I said, anytime we hear the word outsource, you talk, you call a company or whatever. They I outsource you to this. That. It's like yeah, it's not my problem. Can't do that for you. Go over there. Like damn,
right.
I was only in your stomach for how many months? That's it. That's it. I'm about to say, if you so career focused, which is nothing wrong about that, if that's the life you choose to live and that's what makes you happy, and that's what you want to do, then do it. But your kids should not suffer. I'm in the mindset that, bruh, if the second you decide to be a parent, that's your number one job. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
that comes before that until they're adults. And even then, that's still your job. It's basically your job till
Yeah,
you
but
die. So,
True.
yeah. Speaking of parents having absentee parents, that's going to be a real problem. Even if you have substitutes, you still gonna feel that, whether it's
But it
outside or inside. So yeah, my thing is, if you were so career focused, you shouldn't have just had kids. You should have just focused on that, and then once you got to your goal, then probably have kids. I don't know how old you are because I know women have time; they have limits.
well, she's 63.
So I don't know when she had the kids. Did she have the kids
Right.
younger? I don't know that detail.
Uh,
Either way, but there is a clock, a time limit for them. So I don't know how long it took for her to get to where she wanted to get to, but I'm just saying, your kids shouldn't have to suffer. I understand the whole sacrifice, but there's some things you just don't sacrifice.
but and now we got to go with the questions though. Is it suffering? Like, think about it like this.
You
If
have
you're
to
if
ask the
you're
kids. That's the only ones that
because
will know.
I'm trying to put it in perspective. Okay, what's worse? My own personal situation. My dad not being around because he wasn't around, or if my dad wasn't around because he had a higher paying job, but we got to live in luxury. You see what I'm saying? Like, does the money make up for the absence? Like, I'm busting my ass working X amount of hours for this lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? It's like, ugh.
But you
But
don't see
even
a
when you,
lot. Oh, good.
I was gonna say, but even when you go to, if your kid plays sports or whatever, yeah, you're at this private school and you're on the softball team, whatever, but your mom or dad ain't there. What would you rather have? And it's like how
It's
that's
still
what I'm
absent.
trying to use myself as an example.
Absent is absent, but like I said, now absentee with poverty probably is a little worse because you got a whole lot of
Mm,
other issues to deal with, not just them being gone.
welcome to my world. Yeah.
But absentee with money means okay, you do have the dad or the mom, whatever situation it is. And this point is the dad, the sister, and you have all unlimited damn near resources. So you're not dealing with the poverty sickness on top of the sickness of having an absentee. So that's a double whammy. So I would think the absent father, because while you're in poverty, will be worse. But I think for the psyche of the kid, because we see the running joke you see on shows and movies, kid has rich parents or father or whatever, and he's not around and really doesn't care or doesn't even really know his own children. He just
Right.
provides the thing, and then that's it. That's the extent of the
And
relationship. And it's like,
you hear
well,
from athletes too. You hear from
yeah,
athletes when they get older to say, "Hey, I'm stepping away because I want to spend time with my kids." So yeah, you're right.
you're gone. So, and that's still a hole in the kid's life because you're not there. Or even if you are
Right.
there, you're not there. Then, like I said, there's two forms of absence. There's the absence when you are there and you're still not there, and there's when you're just not there at all.
Right.
And those can both can be damages to a kid's emotional psyche and
Mm-hmm.
maturity and all that stuff. So yeah, my advice is live the life you want, people. But if you feel like that you're going to be sacrificing the time with your family, most importantly your kids, because the husband can do that. Y'all in a relationship, so he can leave. The kids can't go nowhere; they're stuck. So yeah, if you want to have kids, they are your priority until you're gone. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
And it's
only
just
problem with it. Other than that,
yeah.
it is what it is.
And I'm not gonna like let's not get it twisted too. I reckon I see what you're doing here, MSNBC. That's a clickbait headline. Because again, once she mentioned she might not be there in a day to day, but it still took a village. It still took her partner. It still took other family members. So it's still a village there. And I think that's the thing when you're isolated and it's just you and your kids, and there's no village, it makes the absence more pronounced. But when you have a village, you can kind of cushion part of that blow. But it's like,
It's still a blow. But like I said, the only people that can answer if it was a major blow or not be the kids.
yeah, and that's the thing also not listed here because she said even in her own words she said despite missing out on after school activities, Burns says she raised two unbelievably good kids, but at the same time she says her career ascent moved so quickly that it sometimes left her feeling absent from the regular emotions of her day to day life, and her only regret not being more present in those daily emotions from the office to her home. So I just for me, fundamentally, it's a problem. But my baseline is admittedly different than hers, and I don't. I mean, I'd be lying. I do knock the baseline, but I understand it ain't my baseline. See, when your baseline is corporate America, make money, rise to the top, blah blah blah, blah, then you do what you gotta do to fulfill that baseline. My baseline is different. My baseline is not based in finances. It is based on feeling. It is based on happiness. And those things, climbing corporate ladders and having all these letters on my, those things don't bring me happiness. So I wouldn't make the sacrifice she did, but I get what she did. But the only reason I'm not being in agreement is because it's not something that fits in with my personal ethos, which is like whatever. She's a CEO and according to this, ranked the 22nd most powerful woman on the planet.
It's respectable.
So job well done. Job well done.
See, I'm not the moral police. The only
Yeah.
thing moral that I don't like about this is that you sacrifice your kids for this. And you've openly admitted that I wish I would go back and change that. So you acknowledge that. But if the kids are fine with it, I ain't got no squirrel. I'm just saying for future reference for people out there, if you want to chase the corporate ladder, if it's going to be a grind, that's what you want to do. I have no quarrel that. That's your life. That's if that makes you happy, that's your grind, then do it. Just don't have kids.
Right. No, don't outsource the labor.
Like, yeah, this is not a paper or assignment or something. This is a living human being that you played a part in creating. So that's part of your fucking problem and your job. It's a lifetime job. There's no days off. So
Right.
yeah, if you're focused solely tunnel vision on this, don't have kids. I even heard KD that said this. Why he doesn't have kids? He's like, bro, I'm so focused on my craft, it wouldn't be right for me to have kids. So I'm gonna wait till later to my career, and then when I'm done, I will be there because he would. And he's gonna be worth probably what, 500 million. So it ain't like he ain't gonna he can just do whatever you want after this.
Right.
So
You be
yeah.
there every day. You be at all the games.
So with KD's logic, I agree with him if I was in his position. Like, why? But
all right.
everyone's different. So there you
go. Okay. All right, brother. Run it back. Recap starting from the top. Yeah, orcas are grimy. Not I wasn't really included, but we went there. Orcas are grimy. They sun great whites. That's kind of crazy. But on more important things, Rasheem Carter. I hope we get the truth, and I hope that truth also results in justice. And I really hope it's not just perpetrators, but I think law enforcement is complicit as well in their inaction. That's that. We will watch as this unfolds and see what happens. But Rasheem Carter, please know the name, make some noise, and yeah, let's get this ball rolling. Wyoming, and they're banning abortion and other crazy laws in the South and I guess Midwest. Listen, I don't, I say it often, I don't want to go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but something about all of this feels really sinister, and I hope we don't find out.
Because it's too late now. Ball's already rolled.
Well, yeah, it ain't like that ball can't get stopped. But there's something about all of this feels really sinister. And I hope we don't figure out what the final plan is on some James Bond evil villain type stuff. Arrest one for Putin. Yeah, I want to see you try that one. It's cute and all, but call me when he's in cuffs. Because other than that, like if I was Putin, I'd ask to see a copy of like have them send me a copy of said warrant, and the next thing you see is me walking into the stall with the warrant and hearing the toilet flush. Yeah, because I'm wiping my behind with it. North Korea and your volunteers, we don't believe you. You need more people. I'm sorry. We got 800,000 volunteers. Yeah. I'm sure every picture of them looks like that picture you see when a dude is forced to take a picture with their girlfriend. They don't feel like it. Right. They don't really want to be there. It's not a volunteer. And Ursula Burns. I mean, job well done. And if you said you raised two amazing kids, then I'm gonna take your word for it.
I mean, did
you? That's a hell of a choice too.
Not to be
Ooh,
foul. But
shots
yeah,
fired. Shots
I'm
fired.
just saying.
Your recap, sir.
Um, Raheem Carter, yep, remember the name. I hope justice, well, justice is never served, but I hope we just get the truth and then we'll go from there. Um, wow, the South, I kind of hope y'all go back to just being your own spot. I used to think it was just Florida and Texas, but now I think the whole South just needs to just go back. Just Confederacy, whatever you want to call yourself, dumbass country, I don't care. Either way, go ahead. Um, Russia, yeah, arrest warrant, that's cute. Like I said, you're more than welcome to come. Open door policy over here. Come on down. Yeah, Mike, win a bullet today. All right. North Korea, volunteers. I've seen the picture too. They were doing exactly what you described. You know, they had, help me. I'm in danger. But, but Ursula Burns. Yeah, you did a great job or outsourcing because damn, they raised some great children because you ain't doing a goddamn thing from your words only. But other than that, your business world, you're a legend. Like real, I'm not even being sarcastic. No, you're a legend. First black woman CEO. You're doing the huge things. I'm happy for you for that. And then, but then the human me, not a parent, but I understand. Like, yeah, out using words as outsource. I don't need to go to games. I don't need to be there for everyday life. I'm focused on my grind. That's cool, but that might have cost you, and you might not know it until it's too late. Hopefully, that's not the case, but you never know. So yeah, my advice, everybody, don't outsource for your kids unless you know you're a horrible parent. Then outsource. But other than that, yeah.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. As always, a pleasure to bring it to you all. Same bad time, same bad channel next week. Guess what we got? On behalf of the Yeah City podcast, my co host, peace.
Yeah.